1170 KCBQ. Mark Larson here. Good to have you with us. About 7:09. Now, Carl Demaio is going to join us in a moment. About 8:10, Jerry Sanders, former mayor, now head of the Chamber of Commerce. Talk with him and lots more ahead. And thanks to all of the listeners. Lovely birthday greetings. I mean, no tangible gifts. Can I do that? Is there some FCC law? I don't think I can beg for gifts, can I? You know, the birthday month continues all month. But there's very nice greetings coming in, an email and blurbs on Facebook and so forth. So that's very, very nice. I can hit the like button. That's my response. Just like sending thank you notes. Does that count? Sending a thank you note with a like? Because it is I sent a thank you note. I clicked like. Right? I in social media world, it probably does. I still like it the old-fashioned way. Anyway, our number 888-344-1170, 888-344-1170. Have you gotten the Amber Alert on your cell phone yet? I got one this morning. It scared me to death driving in at dark 30 because it's the first time I've gotten one on the cell phone, but they've had the Amber Alert out there because of the pursuit of this car and this guy who allegedly burned down the house up in Boulevard, and there's murder involved. There's the abduction of 2 young children. So obviously that warrants a statewide alert and should. But here's Sasha Fu with the latest over at KUSI, our TV partners, with all the word on that and why it's still going on.
Flames and smoke brought fire crews to this property in the Boulevard area. But it's what investigators found after the embers had cooled that now has homicide detectives searching for clues.
While they were extinguishing the flames in one of the structures, they entered the structure and found a body inside.
Investigators believe the owner of this property deliberately torched the 2-story log cabin and garage, perhaps to conceal the killing of 42-year-old Christina Anderson.
We do believe that this was an arson. We believe that he murdered Anderson, and then we believe that he set the structures on fire.
A dog had also been killed on the property, and then, digging even deeper, investigators found still more remains.
They found the remains of a child. The child's identity and cause and manner of death have not been determined at this time.
This man, they say, is the prime suspect, 40-year-old James Lee Demaio, the owner of the property, described as a close friend of the dead woman, and as of late Monday afternoon, a kidnapping suspect in the disappearances of the murdered woman's children, 16-year-old Hannah Anderson and her 8-year-old brother, Ethan.
We believe that the children are in danger. We believe one or more of the children are with him.
An Amber Alert has been posted for suspect James Demaio and the 2 Anderson children. Deputies believe he's driving a blue Nissan Versa similar to this with a California license plate 6WC. U986.
So that's what you're getting on the Amber Alert today. We'll keep an eye on that story through the course of the day. Prayers are with those kids, obviously, and families involved in terms of ripple effects. What a ghastly story that is. And a lot of people look at that and go, well, how can that be? People are basically good. Well, think that through. More coming up on 1170 KCBQ. Carl Demaio is going to join us in just a moment. We'll get his thoughts on a lot of things, including this Obamacare issue, because, Carl's running for Congress, a national issue. It affects everything. You talk about a family values kind of an issue, where the train wreck known as the affordable health care system is going. That's going to affect a lot of people, a lot of levels. So that, plus some thoughts on Mayor Filner's challenges and problems, and maybe another day with Gloria Allred saying, hello, here's some more people you need to meet. It's that kind of a day, and it's only the 6th of August. And yes, it is my birthday. Anyway, if you have had a fender bender lately, well, don't worry about it. Here's what you do. If you get into a car boo-boo, if somebody runs into you, or if something flies up and takes a chunk out of the windshield, or somebody keys your car because you had the wrong bumper sticker on it, whatever it is, call Mark Motors Body Shop in El Cajon. They've been serving all of San Diego County for 64 years and counting. When we've had the occasional fender bender over the years, we've gotten to the point now where I call the insurance company second, call Mark Motors first, and say, okay, now what do we need to do on this? Because they know how to deal with the insurance companies. They know that the law says, and this is true, you and I have the legal right to choose where our car or truck or SUV is repaired after an accident. So choose the best, insist on the best. Mark Motors Body Shop in El Cajon, 619-440-0436, 619-440-0436. Mark Motors, that's spelled with a C-K, M-A-R-C-K, markmotors.com.
If you're the mother of a child with behavior problems, I'd like to talk to you. My name is Janet Lehman. I'm a behavioral therapist and a mom. I know what it's like when the child you love becomes a defiant, out-of-control child who disrespects you. That's why my husband James and I created the Total Transformation, the program that tens of thousands of moms are now using to turn around their child's behavior. If you've heard about the Total Transformation and wondered if it will work for you, now you can try it for free. I'm willing to give away 1,000 programs today for free. All you need to do is get the program and let us know how it works for you. We'll let you keep it for free. I know the Total Transformation works because I used these techniques with my own son and with troubled kids for over 30 years. Let me prove to you that it works by giving you the program for free.
Call now. 1-800-592-3715. 1-800-592-3715. That's 1-800-592-3715.
For honest, fast, and affordable auto repair that's done right, there's no better place than Tao Auto Repair on El Cajon Boulevard, between the 15 and 805 freeways. That's T-H-A-O, Tao Auto Repair.
The Mark Larson Show on Intelligent Talk 1170 KCBQ.
I don't know if Mayor Filner feels like he's doing the walk of life. Well, see Breen's cartoon today in the Daily Ut. In the UT, the editorial cartoonist extraordinaire, there's the woman sitting there looking very stern, taking notes, seated in one chair, and then there's the sort of psychologist or psychiatrist couch. And Mayor Filner is depicted as on his side, his hands up on his head, and he's kind of looking over there, and she's saying, "No, Mr. Filner, we're not going to spank the naughty out of you." So this is where we are. It's gotten to the point where, and again, I was among those, rare for me in the world of being a conservative. I was one of those who said, let's wait till we get some evidence. And then, of course, the evidence started coming out like it's like you're running the garden hose. There's so much of the allegations. And Gloria Allred is suggesting there may be more today. We're at what now, 10? I was out of town for a couple of days, and there was the 10th woman. Now it's starting to pick up traction with the latest UT San Diego 10 News poll. 77% in the poll say Filner should resign. Many more Democrats saying, come on, enough already. Due process is unfolding. Well, Carl Demaio is here. You wanted that gig at City Hall, did you, Carl? Kind of pretty badly?
It's really hard to watch this whole mess play out because what's lost in the shuffle are the priorities that the people want to see addressed. You know, the road repairs, job creation, getting our city back on track, and it's really sad to see this really spin out of control. I mean, we are the laughing stock of the country because of Bob Filner's behavior.
It is, and I have case in point, Exhibit A on that. I went back for my high school reunion. You know, you hit those milestones, and you go back and go, please, let's dim the lights a little bit. The time is marching on here. But the big question from everybody I talked to, the first question was, hey, how's things in San Diego and about that mayor? And they knew his name. I mean, it's really embarrassing. It is. It's gotten to the point now where that's all people know about.
It is, and when people talk about the impact that this is having to our reputation, the impact is also going to be seen in terms of people willing to invest in San Diego. Companies do not invest in localities that are politically unstable. They will be concerned about getting approvals, about getting their projects through, they really are looking for stable environments to do business in, and this certainly does not send the message of stability to the country.
Carl Demaio with us here on the Mark Larson Show, 1170 KCBQ. Now, Carl, we hear is that everything's fine. Walt Eckhart, who's a heck of a guy, knows what he's doing there as the chief operating officer, not elected, but appointed in a good move by Filner. So he's running the ship operationally there. You got the city council saying, hey, everything's fine here. Is that enough? Or are they able to manage the chaos that comes out of this sort of thing with these allegations that continue every day?
No, it's not enough because the city council's attention, instead of being focused 100% on the people's business, their attention is focused on lawsuits, the continuing drama. I can tell you this right now. When Gloria Allred does a press conference today, as we've heard that she probably will, and trots out additional women who've been victimized by Bob Filner, the business at City Hall grounds to a halt. and nothing is getting done because they are watching television, because it's a drama. It's unfolding, and then they start worrying about, well, what's next, and why are things not being resolved? So the business at City Hall is not being done in the people's interest. Instead, all focused on sexual harassment allegations, lawsuits, the cost that this will have to the city, and, of course, the political infighting. Make no mistake about it, the city council and the mayor, the vast majority of people in the city council, are now so removed from Filner as to place Filner on his own island. How can you actually get things done like legislation and important projects if the council members refuse to talk to the mayor because they don't think the mayor ought to be in office?
Carl Demaio with us here, and meanwhile, this is going to have more ramifications for the city. We had the chief of staff doing the document dump before the deadline to 5 o'clock last night. We have the continuing adversarial relationship, obviously, between the city attorney and the mayor's office. And no matter where you look at this, distraction is probably the best word, the fairest word, but it's uglier than that, it appears. So
it's distraction and dysfunction, and the people's business is paying a huge price. And we've got major issues in the city, for goodness sake. I mean, we've got important projects like the convention center. We don't get moving on that, we're going to see a potential loss of Comic-Con, one of our biggest trade shows. We heard just the other day that the convention center authority is starting to turn down certain business on the potential that they will have the expansion done. Well, what if the expansion doesn't go through? We need to have our entire city delegation at the Coastal Commission pushing for this project, and unfortunately, that's not happening right now. So that's just one project in a sea of many, many projects that are important to our economy. And then, of course, we have the longstanding issues of infrastructure and city services that are not up to par. So all these issues are taking a second place, a backseat role to the drama of sexual harassment and political dysfunction at City Hall.
Carl Demaio with us. I got to get your take on this Chargers deal, too. Obviously, they're all related. You got the Chargers Stadium down the line. That's certainly not moving anywhere right now, one way or another, while the Filner mess continues, and then there's a convention center. But now we have these new rules the NFL has put out. That'll affect the exhibition game with the Chargers next week. I guess this is where we are now. I mean, after Boston, security, and this gets back to your national stage as you're running for Congress, Carl Demaio, and we've got a worldwide terror alert and so forth. The bad guys don't exactly say, well, we'll wait until the Filner scandal is over. They're still doing what they do, and we have to take some precautions. Or is the NFL overdoing it?
Well, we certainly are having this national conversation about how many freedoms are we to give up in order to protect freedom. At some point, you lose the very thing that we cherish as Americans. So there needs to be a conversation. There needs to be balance. And I think, certainly some of these policies go entirely too far. I think there are some prudent measures that we always should be looking at for basic security. But at the end of the day, we cannot sacrifice and surrender that which makes us America. And that's really what these terrorists are, that's what they hate the most. They hate the fact that we are a free society, that we respect human rights, that we do place emphasis on individual responsibility. And so these are the things that make us America. I don't want to give those things up in the name of making sure that we can go after each and every bit of data, each and every opportunity. There has to be balance. I think the American people are searching for that balance. Now,
Carl, about the Affordable Health Care Act, I keep telling people, if you want to know just how simple, how easy, how wonderful it is, call your insurance company and ask them, okay, what happens October 1st, and what's it going to look like January 1st, and just be ready for the ride. It's more puzzling than ever. There's all these different institutions getting exemptions. They've kicked the business exemption down, or the business restriction part of it down a year. You've got Congress on the House side trying to figure out how to thwart it, how to unfund it. But frankly, a lot of people just say, "Hey, I think it's free. I think it's wonderful." This is the train coming at us down the tunnel, isn't it?
It is, and it's not the Affordable Care Act. It really is a complete mess of adding government intrusion and government regulation that will result in more expensive health care and less coverage. And what really drives me nuts about the whole deal is that Congress last week, on Friday, announced very quietly that they had secured a special exemption from key provisions in Obamacare. So the Congress is no longer going to be required to comply with Obamacare as passed. The congressional members and their staff are now in a double standard. They refuse to repeal it. They refuse to fix it. People under the current implementation plan, people on January 1st will either have to pay a tax or go into government-sponsored health insurance. But members of Congress are excused. This is outrageous, and we ought to be demanding that Congress abide by and comply with and live under the same laws that the rest of us have to live under.
Of course, but this is not, but Carl, it's not the first time Congress has done this. This seems to be the way the old club works here. What on earth do they use as rationalization? And there's plenty of that, but what is the rationale that they obviously we get a special plan? Is it an elite deal? Or are they just hoping we don't notice?
I think that they're out of touch, completely out of touch. And that's why we need to have a public awareness that this is actually going on. I've been beating the drum. And one of the things I've been pushing for is my Fix Congress First plan that would simply state that all laws passed by Congress shall be complied with by members of Congress, that there should be no special exemption. An interesting, parallel to what's going on right here in San Diego is that Congress passed a law requiring sexual harassment training of all federal managers.
Well, that worked well.
Except they exempted the members of Congress.
Of course, because they already know better. They have all this divine wisdom that they, it's laughable. It is, and you think that it's changed with all these reform movements over the years. A lot of work left to do. Carl Demaio would like to go to Congress, and still no second thoughts here about maybe if it opens up on the mayor's side, if there's a recall that works, and there's question about that. But you're still focusing on the congressional race, right?
Well, I have two areas of focus right now. One, of course, is continuing to advance the conversation with San Diegans about what we can do with reform on a national level. But secondly, continuing to be part of a broad bipartisan coalition to force Mayor Filner out of office. And that's important that we not get political jockeying or partisan politics to distract us from that important goal, which is staying united on getting this guy out of office, and that's important.
All right, check it out, carldemaio.com. You'll find more info there. Thanks, Carl. Appreciate the update. Thank you. More coming up here on 11.